Hello, and welcome to the August 2024 Strategic Financial Group newsletter. We hope that you're having an amazing summer, and we're hoping for a fantastic fall as well. This month's featured article is titled 5 Frequent Questions Answered. We here at Strategic Financial give financial advice on a daily basis. We thought it'd be valuable to put out answers to some questions that we frequently get. So in the article, we discuss 5 questions that we feel may relate to many of you. The first question that we address is it worth paying a financial advisor? So the article talks about how not everybody needs a financial advisor, but one of the things that we often find is that folks don't know what they don't know. So lots of people that we interact with have a really good understanding of one or two areas, but the other areas that they may need help on is something they're not knowledgeable on. So with our holistic planning, we're able to help navigate these areas that an individual or a couple may not be real familiar with. And that's where the real value comes into play with hiring a financial advisor. The second question the article discusses is regarding Roth IRAs and in what situations they may not make sense. The article talks about a concept of order of operations. Personal financial planning is unique to each situation, but we typically advise those that are in their working years to identify what their savings or investing plan should look like, and then have an order of operations for how those savings should be allocated as it relates to account types. So generally speaking, we recommend allocating to the 401k up to the company match. After that, we look at maximizing an HSA if that's available. The next account type in line would be a Roth IRA, as long as you're under the income threshold for that. Then after that, we look at an individual or a joint taxable account. The third question that's addressed in the article relates to a spending plan or a budgeting item that's one of the biggest for most folks: housing. The article talks in general about spending plans as they should be prepared with a post-tax income in mind. Specifically for housing, the article talks about making sure the entire cost of the housing situation is taken into account. Be sure to include inflation into the long-term spending needs for housing. The fourth question addressed in the article is related to 529 accounts. The article talks about how a 529 is designed for future educational expenses for a child, the pros and cons of those types of accounts, along with some ways that it might make sense for the use of those accounts to be coordinated with a different type of account for specific goals to be met. The fifth and last question in the article is related to the use of indexed universal life policies for tax reduction in retirement, and if that's a good idea. The article talks about the potential confusion that folks have as it relates to the life insurance, as sometimes they confuse it with an investment vehicle, or they're told that it is a type of investment vehicle. The article talks about remembering why life insurance policies are there and that it's used for insurance, not as an investment vehicle. There are definitely tax benefits of using life insurance policies, but those tax benefits can come at a cost that might not always be in the best interest of the client. It's important for the client to be educated and knowledgeable about the life insurance policy and how the producer or seller of that policy gets compensated. We believe that in some cases, life insurance gets oversold because of the tax savings conversation. In some cases, it gets oversold because the seller of the policy is getting a pretty good compensation for selling you the policy. An important point is to make sure that you're fully educated on the policy, making sure that it's a good fit for you and your family, because once you get into that strategy, it's important to stick with that strategy long-term to make sure it works. Most personal financial situations are situationally specific. In most cases, there's a case for discussion with your situation with a financial advisor. If nothing else, it'd be very valuable to get a second opinion from a professional. I hope you enjoy that article and find value in the content. If there is a specific personal financial question you have, we'd be happy to have a conversation with you about that. Next up, the newsletter is the most recent quarterly market commentary from Mark Sorensen, the Chief Investment Officer at Royal Fund Management. Mark talks about what we've seen in the first half of this year and his assessment of what we might see in the market going for the remainder of this year, along with some historical facts that kind of backs up his theories. I hope you enjoy his video. Next up in the newsletter is our most recent 401k maneuver blog post titled What to Do If You're Behind on Your 401k Savings. Now, we know that many folks are that are in their working years, their best investing and savings opportunity comes within a 401k. Even though the investment menu might not have the best options compared to the entire open marketplace, it's an important tool for preparing for retirement. We believe that our 401k offering for individuals, small businesses, and large businesses could be considered, from a real estate analogy, the best house in the best neighborhood for the best price. If you'd like to chat about your individual 401k or a company 401k, please let us know. We'd be happy to talk about that with you. Lastly, in the newsletter is our complimentary retirement plan screening coupon. If you or anybody you know think there'd be a value in going through our financial planning analysis, we'd be happy to waive our planning fee to provide our feedback on your or their current financial position. I hope you enjoyed this month's newsletter. I hope you have a great rest of your summer. Hope you enjoy your fall, and hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.